Hi, my name is Rob Scott from CX Today News, and today I'm joined by Five9 and Online Business Systems, and we're going to be discussing how you can maximize your Microsoft Teams investment with Five9 CCaaS. Welcome, everybody.
Thank you,
Rob.
Hey, Rob.
Good to see you.
Hey, good to see you. Thanks for taking time to talk to me today. Just before we dive in, however, how about we just do a quick round of introductions, and Mo, would you like to go first?
That sounds good. Perfect. Maurice De Silva here, aka Mo, as Rob referred to. So many of you in the industry know and have referred to me as Mo for years, so I'm good with it. I'm recently the RVP of Sales for Five9 in Canada. Prior to that, I was within our partner organization for approximately a year and a half. And Five9, for those of you who don't know, provides intelligent cloud contact center technology. And we really take a digital-first approach, ultimately focused on helping our customers transform their businesses. And our goal, quite frankly, which simplistically is to provide a really high-quality customer interaction with low effort. So I've been in this space now for over 20 years, whether it's technology or the BPO side, and really happy to be here. So thanks for having me, Scott, and happy to be here with our partner, Online Business Systems, and Tim.
Yeah, good to see you, Mo, and thanks for joining us. And Tim.
Hi, thanks, Rob. I'm Tim Siemens. I'm a Chief Technology Officer and a partner at Online Business Systems. We're a professional services consultancy specializing in digital transformation and cybersecurity. We've been in the business for about 35 years. I've been at Online for only about 30 of them. And we specialize in developing custom solutions, integrating different disparate systems, and over the last good number of years, helping our clients modernize their contact centers. With the cybersecurity practice as well, we believe that security informs all of the work that we do, whether that's in the contact center or in the solutions that we develop.
Fantastic. Welcome, Tim. So today we're going to talk about Microsoft Teams in the contact center. And really trying to get the very most out of that investment. So I suppose to kick things off, and we'll go to Mo first on this one, if you don't mind. Mo, why is a unified, Microsoft, why is a unified Microsoft Teams and contact center kind of so popular right now? And kind of what outcomes are organizations looking for?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say the number one value or benefit that most organizations that we're working with today are looking to drive is just an increase in first call resolution. With COVID, with really the kind of that aggressive move to digital and that challenge with regards to how you move all that brick and mortar to a digital interface. It really fast forwarded a lot of digital transformation, and that pushed organizations to a point where it now enables them to use some of this new technology, such as the Microsoft Teams integration, to drive first call resolution. And for those who aren't, that term FCR gets thrown around a lot, but study after study, the most recent numbers I saw that I think it was a third of customers are willing to wait longer to get their interactions handled faster. And I don't know about you, but over COVID, I've absolutely waited longer for almost everything I've called or had to email or chat for. And another interesting stat is that 75% of customers are looking for, once they hit that agent, they want to have their problem resolved in 15 minutes or less. So when you put those two together, the ability to take the front office and link it to the back office and pull in those experts to help you resolve those calls, and the ability to seamlessly do that with integration, see presence, see what's going on, see if someone's available, making sure that your agents know who to go to, and the ability to kind of seamlessly leverage AI and IVA technology to streamline the things that you don't want handled manually. That's really driving it. But to kind of take it back to the original question, it's first call resolution. That's driving a lot of the interest in this.
Tim, what about you? What kind of outcomes are your customers looking for?
It's very similar to what Mo was talking about. When COVID arrived, a lot of our clients found that if they had on-prem elements of their contact center, that they weren't necessarily in a position to be scaled to handle the increased volumes. And those increased volumes, so we had increase in volumes from a customer point of view. We had increased volumes also from the point of view of how do you enable your contact center folks to work remotely. What do you actually have to do to enable them to work remotely? And towards Mo's point on the first call resolution, how do you integrate into the back office so you can enable the expertise to be delivered? So there's a real drive to do that. And for a lot of our clients, one of their first moves was an increased usage of tools such as Teams and the UCaaS solution. That was a drive towards addressing the remote worker capability. Now, that opened a lot of eyes as to what could actually be done. Didn't think that they could do it remotely before, but now that they see they could do it remotely, and then they start saying, well, how do we integrate it all together? We are more transformed digitally. We had to do it because of an event such as a pandemic, but how can we actually fully take advantage of that so that our teams are working more cohesively? And yeah, things such as presence. Can I see the presence of somebody in the back office who might be able to help out solving a problem? How seamlessly can I bring them into the loop? How seamlessly can they solve a client's problem? And again, driving to that first call resolution, that is exactly the type of things that we've seen. But we've also seen that the clients themselves, from a team's point of view, taking a look at, if they're larger clients, taking a look at things such as their enterprise agreements and how they can maximize the investments that they've had within that space, and how can you build something cohesive while maximizing whatever capital or operational outlay they have.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. And that normally is significant, isn't it? And these projects, to deploy contact center, new contact center solutions is certainly complex. So I'm interested to kind of hear about kind of the other side. What typically is catching organizations out, in terms of, the gotchas or the things that might go wrong with things like this when trying to kind of unify Microsoft Teams and the contact center together. So Mo, do you want to go first on that one? What are you seeing?
Yeah, it's interesting. When I started here, one of the things I did was I interviewed a lot of individuals within our organization, kind of specialists around, hey, what's been our experience with some of this? And you think back a year and a half ago, it feels like 10 years from a digital standpoint in terms of the amount of customers that have adopted Teams as an example and kind of transitioned. And Teams went from, it's almost like a quote that I used from one of our engineers. It went from being one of our most difficult implementations to being one of our easiest. So, and if you look at our adapter as an example, we're already on version 2 of our Teams adapter. So that kind of shows you the progression that we've made as an organization, the amount of work that's gone into it from a team standpoint. I would think that outside of the connectivity challenges you run into with regards to integrating Teams, making sure that the networks are set up correctly and kind of all that, which a lot of that's solved when you're dealing with a cloud-based solution such as Five9, as well as a cloud-based solution with MS Teams. You kind of don't have those challenges, so you kind of shift to the other area is now the use case. So oftentimes customers, especially I see this within RFPs, they haven't really thought through how am I going to operationalize this new technology? What's the outcome that I'm going to drive? And if you don't have that map through, it can make for a pretty, it's great to have all these new tools, but it can make for a pretty sloppy experience if the agents aren't clear in terms of how they move through, who they need to go to. And something like, you kind of get down into the nuts and bolts of it, like directory design. Who's going to be visible to those agents that you're going to transfer to in this back office, right? You got this new cluster of people that are now accessible. How do you streamline that to make sure that you're not inadvertently exposing agents to folks who shouldn't be, or in the wrong order, or, how do you not create another problem? So I think that's probably, outside of some of those connectivity pieces, just getting the design right in terms of the flow and organizing directories and group lists. That would be a really big issue that we work heavily with customers on.
That's interesting. Tim, what's your perspective?
One of the things that when the acceleration really started to happen, that clients would find is maybe they have not done a proper capacity planning on their network bandwidth, whether that's within the back office, whether it's in the center itself, or even whether whether it's in the considerations around remote workforce and what they actually have at home. So there's some thought and attention that needs to be given there if it hadn't been given before. To echo what Mo was saying there has to be kind of a proper delineation point between what Teams will do and what Five9 will do, how the handoffs occur, how does the business flow work, and attention needs to be paid around the network routing. This represents an opportunity not just to provide a more seamless experience for the customers and the people of a company, but it represents an opportunity to make some significant savings. So you can architect it in a manner where you wouldn't necessarily have optimized those savings, whether it's PSTN costs or some other routing algorithms. But if done correctly, if attention is paid at the outset, you can see better savings as an outcome.
Yeah, that's good too, isn't it? So let's talk about getting the most out of this investment. I know we touched on that already a little bit, but Mo, I mean, what advice would you give to, contact center organizations, and organizations out there looking to kind of deploy, a solution like this alongside Microsoft Teams?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of go back to that original statement. I think that the number one area where we see the most value extracted is when we look at your customer journey and that call flow and what it's going to end up looking like from an experience standpoint, because that opens up a whole area of now that we've got these connected agents, now that we have these connected back office or the opportunity is pretty wide with regards to whether it's a franchise, a branch location. Like, people think back office and they think someone doing accounting. It's not, right? You're pulling experts from within the organization. That expert can come in many different shapes and sizes as it pertains to what your business does. So now that we have that exposed and we know what that looks like, how do we map in things like automation? How do we leverage AI to streamline that? Now that we have, like I said, we're capturing all of this metadata throughout all of these transactions. How do we leverage that to kind of look at that full 360 view of that interaction? So to me, if you don't think through that, oftentimes we'll get a list of requirements. I need a connector. I need this many licenses. That's great, right? A lot of companies can do that, right? There's a lot of solutions out there. The only point I'll make on that is make sure that your solution's certified for those who are kind of looking at that, and making sure that the adapters are certified, because that's a really key element. Microsoft does a great job there in standardizing that. But beyond that, I think it's really important that we understand the business drivers and that you share that. So, that's probably the biggest mistake that we see. And when I say mistake, meaning those are the things you typically have to go back and re-engineer a little bit, because you don't want to deploy it and create a negative experience. So that'd be my advice, in terms of being able to extract the most value out of the gate.
Yeah, that's great. And Tim, in terms of your customers, how do you help them get the most out of their Five9 investment?
Yeah, one of the elements that we try and focus on is, and say, as you're making your journey into this combination and integration, is make sure you leverage expertise. It can easily go down a wrong path, and you can back up and recover, but you can make mistakes which are going to cost you business value and other costs as well. So really kind of leverage expertise. I like what Mo was saying about the integration abilities. We've been doing a lot of integration work with Five9 to a wide variety of back-end systems and back-office systems, and Teams is a very nice natural extension to that. And really, you can, through the integration of Teams and Five9 and whatever other CRM or other systems are in the back-end, you can get to a much greater value in terms of being delivered to a client. They can take more fully advantage of what that integration can bring, and then see a much better outcome.
Super. And Mo, can you talk us through a little bit about how you're working together with online business systems and to make all this happen?
Sure, absolutely. So online is one of our premier partners. The partner team has done a really good job of building out an ecosystem and a model that really helps to enable our partners to do more than just resell software, right? They're adding all the additional value that they bring to bear. And in the case of online, they have other areas of expertise, security, the UC component, consulting. So all of those elements come to bear, and they're also scaled in the Five9 tools, the implementation, the deployment, support, etc. So when you wrap that all together, they help us complete the picture for customers, right? And that can come in the shape of a buying experience, the ability to purchase all through one. But I think the bigger value is just the ability to consume kind of a fully encapsulated service from a partner that we're standing with side by side, working on customer issues. They're as up to speed as we are on developments, on our roadmap, etc. So that's really where we see such great value within our partner ecosystem.
That's great. And Tim, from your perspective, why did you choose Five9 for CCaaS?
I'm going to listen for this answer, Tim. So.
It'll be, why do we choose Five9? A great product, a great service, a great company, and a strong desire to partner very well with the service delivery partners. I mean, at the outset, those were the reasons. And for us, and for Five9 as well, we're focused on customer success, and those aren't just words. We want to have a successful client actually recognizing the value that was delivered, and clients who see both companies working very closely together in implementation or resolution of any issues which may arise. And we've seen that in the field many times. And so it was great at the outset. It was great through training. We have many onliners, on the 15 to 20 who've had many years of experience in the contact center, and then lots of digital transformation and custom development folks as well. And they've had a fantastic experience working with Five9s. Now, we've worked not just with Five9s in the field for delivery to our own clients, but we've been a good part of professional services delivery for Five9's work with delivering on the order of over 200 projects, working very well together. So a very good experience in what can be a very complicated area, but working together, we can do the job.
That's great to hear, and ultimately, that's exactly what we've been talking about today. Is maximizing that investment for the customer success, and partnerships. So I think altogether, it's a quite a nice recipe, isn't it? But I'm afraid that's all we've got time for today. Thank you, Mo. Thank you, Tim. It's been great talking to you today.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're right.
And thanks everyone for watching CX TV. If you've got some good takeaways from today's session, do give us a quick mention on social and subscribe to our channel for more industry news and insights. I'm Rob Scott from CX Today. Thanks for watching.